people who look alike are the Asian people who look exactly alike. Thinking or seeing people who look similar, everyone thinks, oh my God, you look like this other person. But it's to the point where nobody says, hey, you look like this person. They just pretend that you don't look like the other Asian person who is basically your twin separated at birth. When we see somebody who is similar, we no longer point out, hey, I got you mixed up with somebody. You have to pretend, even with twins, that, oh yeah, you guys don't look alike, because the whole everybody does look alike is somehow politically incorrect. But if you look like that person, you're being dishonest when you say that two things don't look alike. Completely dishonest. Let's do a test. Do these two stickers look alike? Because if these stickers were Asian people, these stickers would not look alike. And that makes no sense. Being able to pattern recognize things that look similar is wholly nearly impossible to do. That's why even thinking about, hey, what kind of pattern recognition should we do? And by pattern recognition, I mean being able to scout report, being able to judge, being able to use our brain to pattern recognize. It's like judgment. Once we who are under 50 years old try to do pattern recognition, it's incredibly dangerous because one, mentally we're ill equipped to even tell if two Asian people look similar. Two, we mix up our analysis because of two things that seem like they're exactly the same. Being able to delegate pattern recognition to somebody else is a superpower where we then work on two things: pattern repetition and then pattern iteration, where the pattern recognition of complex things we delegate to somebody else. This is incredibly important if you are any kind of Asian or Caucasian or any kind of person, because what happens is you're too close to your own self to be able to do third party perspective. What is third party perspective? It is seeing the world for what it is. It is what happens when we meditate. It is third party perspective. Person perspective is where we are seeing the ODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act. Us real time deciding when things are in massive flux. Look at the world right now. It is in massive flux where we see things that are happening so fast. When things happen fast, what happens to our mental health? What happens when we also soothe ourselves with vaping or opiates or drugs that are meant to solve mental problems. And I'm not giving you medical advice, I'm just asking some simple questions. Another simple question that we can improve on is this: what if we delegated pattern recognition to a mentor? But we don't even need to be able to talk to that mentor. We can ask this question, which is going to be some genius shiitake, which is this: what if Augie Garrido had a computer science degree inside our brain? If you have a computer science degree. So, do you see how you're layering in a complexity but making it incredibly simple? So, you're taking your education and you're saying, okay, with this education, how would a 80-year-old man come up with genius stuff? Uh, I'm not eating. I'm not eating. Thank you. Being able to delegate it to a man who is 80 years old. Why 80? Because when you're a human, your brain is optimal with what? It's optimal when you have the perspective of time. Okay, some of these things became super complex. Let's just break it down to its simplest thing, which is when you studied engineering, can you find a person and then ask the question, what if Coach Mark Marquez had a computer science degree? What if Irv Grosbeck had a computer science degree? What if Coach David Esker had a computer science degree? What would he do? And when you juxtapose that, you're adding third party perspective. This is the comedy routine that is John Teo, Tim Chang, and Larry Chang, which is three Asian dudes who look exactly alike. Yet yet the subtlety of three different perspectives, but it's three dudes basically doing the same job, looking the same, and 98% being the same person. Now you have subtleties in choices and in pattern recognition, pattern repetition, pattern iteration. In the triples of, do you delegate pattern recognition to a mentor? Do you, as a person under 40 or under 80, just focus on pattern repetition and pattern iteration? So that way we don't get paralysis of analysis. Does this sound like it's plaguing so many people? Yes. It's the reading the algorithm, letting the YouTube feed pummel your brain while you have 11 chefs in the kitchen of your mind, which is a prior video. What happens when there's 11 chefs in your mind and there's not one chef in your mind? Because when I'm saying, what would Irv Grosbeck do with a computer science degree, I get massively invigorated to one, come up with content, three, be able to paste copy Irv Grosbeck's genius things with attribution, springboarding towards towards board of director governorship. I know that got incredibly specific, but but and we can take the things that Irv Grosbeck does with turnarounds, with strategic management 353, hashtag StramGT 353, where it's a class on turnarounds with a class on computer science smushed together, smushed together, smushed together. What questions do you have? Even for the video archive, what questions do you have up till now? Because this video started with, hey, there's a couple of Asian people that I think look similar, and it's not allowed for me to bring it up. Like, I'm bringing it up. Why? Because it's a simple question, which is, why can't we say that two people who look similar are similar? And and are we thinking that our lack of similarity is is nuanced? Meaning, do you think that we're completely dissimilar, or what similarities can we have to achieving a similar goal, which is arriving at first base? First base being something commercially viable. First base being a small success, which will end up being a home run or running home because we're able to get to first base, whereas most people never leave the sofa. What if Augie Garrido had a computer science degree? What do we do to get better from one video to one video? I don't understand what base two, base three are. I hung out with the grapefruit. I hung out with the Texas State fans from Palo Alto. I hung out with them in Austin, Texas, at a party, and they saw me at a party wearing a cowboy hat. Basically, everything that was the same. and they still were questioning whether or not they had met me prior because they didn't want to say, hey, you look like Larry Chang. I don't want to ask you that because I don't want you to think that all Larry Changs look similar or that Larry Chang looks similar from one event to another event. True story. Yeah, I'll leave. Sure, sure, I'll leave. Sure, sure. Thank you. No, you don't have to be sorry. Thank you.